welcome to our team call. Tonight we have Sierra, and she's going to chat with us. She is a fellow girl boss, and she is going to talk to us about some of her Instagram tips and tricks, and specifically talking about branding yourself. Because it's so important to not just put out like all of this information for whatever product you're selling, or, you need to have people connect to you, and you need to have people know what your message is, or even like the style of photos that you have. Like, I will tell people like, oh, that looks like, I love how your photos all look alike, or, something like that. And she'll definitely have some tips, but I've had a lot of you reach out to me recently, and I just purchased a preset on Etsy for Lightroom. And so all I do is I put my photo into Lightroom, and I use the same preset on everything. So you can look into doing that. It's super simple. But I think really taking some pride in looking at your photos and finding what is you. Don't do something like, oh, I love following her, so I'm going to do that. Figure out what is you and your style. Don't try to be Insta famous like so-and-so. Be yourself. Find what makes you happy, and she'll be talking about that. So she's definitely, we're excited to have you, Sierra, and I'll let you talk a little bit about your story.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that amazing introduction. It was so great to see the beginning of your call and all that you guys are doing in March and in April. That was so exciting. I love it. I love all the energy and the positive vibes. So congrats to all of you on all of the great things you're doing. I wanted to say that real quick. But yeah, so like April said, we connected through Instagram. I'm a social media coach and manager. And I love being able to work with people on how to really stand out and be themselves, connecting to their power and being able to showcase themselves, especially with network marketing. It can kind of feel like you're kind of getting drowned out because there's so many and everybody's doing it. And, you are your own brand and your own business, and that matters, and that's important. And being able to show up and be that amazing, beautiful self that you are, and being able to grow your team and your tribe through that has so much more power and connection. So that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about today, and give you some great tips and kind of like what you should really be focusing on your profile on Instagram. And like she was talking about with the photos, we're going to talk all about all of that too. So I'm really excited to be here for all of you guys and be a part of this. This is awesome. Thank you guys for having me. So when you start, you have 7 seconds when somebody clicks on your profile, and it's that instantaneous, hi, I'm a new follower, and you have to grab your attention. So your Instagram name on your profile is searchable. I don't know if you guys know that, but your name, like you can have it, and then you can also have what you do in that name as well. Because then when you go to, you can search it. If I'm looking for a health coach or a fitness coach, your name will pop up. It doesn't have to just be in a tag. So that's super important because you're able to show up on another aspect, and you're able to see when I get to your page who you are, what you do, and why you're going to help me. And that's what your bio should consist of. And your branding and your message should be in that bio. So I don't want to be like, oh, your message or like exactly what you do and offer, but why you specifically are the person that I want to connect with. Because you all started for a specific reason. You decided to join this amazing tribe because of something. She said something, somebody said something, and they were like, oh yeah, this is for me. This is what I want. And you need to be able to have that connection with somebody else, being able to bring that connection in and being like, yeah, this is what I'm really looking for. Whether you're looking for that bikini body, or you're trying to help moms that, are looking to lose the baby weight or get back into, confidence and feel better about their bodies, whatever it is, you joined for a specific reason. It wasn't just because like, oh, I just want something to do. And I mean, maybe it was, maybe that's why you joined, but it's all of the reasons are just because of that's what you desire and that's what you wanted. And you need to be able to show up for them by saying that. So that needs to be in your message, in your Instagram bio. It needs to be able to be like, this is me, this is what I do. And then you need to give them some kind of, this is what I want for you. Working with me, following me, loving me, being able to have this connection, this is what you're going to get out of it. Whether it's confidence, whether it's results, whether it's a healthy lifestyle, whether it's workouts, whatever it is, you're going to be able to get this from this connection. And all of that brings this instant like, oh, I like this person. I want to follow this person. And you get that engagement and you're building these deeper connections. So your Instagram bio and your message of who you are, what you do, and why you're going to help me is the main parts that should be in there. And then you're going to go down into your bio and you're going to see all the highlights. And highlights are so important when you're talking about your brand and being able to really stand out from everybody else, because they're you. They're your specific needs, desires, wants, and loves. And they're a great way to build a deeper connection with somebody because you have the space to create that. So your stories are fun. They're behind the scenes. They're your everyday life. They're who you are, but they're only there for 24 hours. And when you are able to create a highlight, which is the group of stories on your profile that lasts forever, you have that extra space of being like, oh, wow, that was really good. I really like the way that that sounded, or I really like the way that I showed up, or, you know, the workout or the recipe, or I want to be able to share this for longer than 24 hours. And you're able to have that. And it also helps you stand out for your brand. So you can have like a who am I highlight and talk about you and your personal self, not just the business, the person behind the brand, the person that stands up and is like, here, this is me, this is what I do. And, you know, the behind the scenes, whether you're a mom or you like Starbucks or you went this place for dinner or, you know, whatever it is, you're able to put that in that who am I highlight and have another connection, you know, whether it's a results highlight and you talk about these are the results that I have personally had. This is my journey. This is why I joined. Or whether you're talking about your amazing team and, you know, these are the amazing, beautiful women that I've connected with and this is what they're doing. You know, whatever it is, building these deeper highlights are just another way to instantly connect with somebody. And you can make that branded to you. So whether that's through colors, and colors bring out an energy when somebody clicks on your page. So all businesses have, like, when you think about it, like a logo or a brand, like you have these colors that come to mind and all colors have an energy. So, you know, if you're working just with females, you know, maybe some pinks or reds, those are very feminine colors, or maybe you're trying to have a relaxed and cleansing, healthy lifestyle and you're trying to get away all of the negative energies that you have, you know, lots of greens and yellows are great for that. And it's really about whatever you feel like you want to share with your audience and all of the energies that you're connecting with, putting that into your brand. So, you know, you can have all of these things and then bringing them to your highlight kind of solidifies that. And you should have that across all platforms. So whether it's Instagram or on Facebook or inside a group, being able to have all of that, you're showing up consistently as this is me and this is what makes me stand out. I'm able to bring these energies and this love into, you know, all areas of my business, not just on Instagram, but in my highlights and on my feed and in my stories and in my Facebook group and, you know, wherever you are, you're able to bring all of that. And it's super, super important to have that kind of solidified branding. And like April was talking about in your content as well, doing the same thing, doing a consistent feed filter. She said she got the Lightroom preset. That's amazing. I have the same thing. It's like beautiful, and you're able to have the same filter all of the time. It shows consistency. It doesn't look crazy and messy. You have this kind of like, oh, this is, you know, her. This is what she does. And you're able to see the consistency of that. You can also do the same thing with themed posts that will help you be branded as well. So I don't necessarily mean like, oh, post 1 is a quote, post 2 is a recipe, post 3 is a workout pic. It doesn't have to be as intimidating as that. It can be a little bit more relaxed and laid back, but having kind of like, oh, I'm going to talk about something empowering today. I'm going to talk about a positive result or a new upcoming product or challenge that we're doing today. And being able to have this consistent, like, this is what I want to share with you because this is my journey. This is why I do what I do. Your posts should all be relatable. So you should be able to relate not just to your journey and yourself, but also relating to your ideal client and your audience in every single post in some way, shape, or form. They should all be educational. So you're giving them value, you're giving them love, you're giving them something that they needed. By reading your post, their day is made. Their day is better. They have gained something from spending the time to read your post. And then it should also be entertaining. It's not just sitting here and you're like, oh, this is what I read. oh, this is a new product. If you're sharing a new product, be like, this is why it's freaking awesome. Like, this is what's going on. And this is, entertain them, make them happy, make them smile. And all of your posts should be all of these things. So if you're able to be relatable and entertain them and giving them value, you're going to be connecting with them more. And while you're doing that, you're going to be not just building your business, but solidifying your brand. Because as you do that, you're connecting more to who you are, why you started, and what your original message is. And it's so amazing to be able to have that connection. You'll be able to see it as you start to do this more and you start to really solidify what your brand is and what you're attempting to share with your audience and what you really need, like why you started, why you desire this, why you decided to join. When you're able to put all of that energy and power into your posts, you're able to feel the energy from them back. You'll be seeing better engagement, higher engagement. And, it's not just a number or a follower that you're getting, you're gaining a person, you're gaining a connection. And all of that is huge and super important to kind of think about and remember. So when we think about social media engagement, and we think about like why that's important, it's not just a like or a follow. It's somebody's taking the time to look at your post, read your post, like or comment, and then that means that you're actually connecting to what they say. So your content is registering to them. And another great way to get engagement is also through your stories. So you can have engagement through your stories as well when you talk about, doing a poll or having like a question app. You're getting them to be like, yeah, I actually want to take the time to like her post or comment on her poll or, slide the little bar on the story. You're actually resonating with your audience. So if you're constantly posting and you feel like you're not getting enough engagement or your stories, you're not getting enough people that are interested in your polls or actually responding, you can try and do a little like recon, so to speak, on your audience and ask them, is this working? Is this what you guys want to see? Do you like more of this or more of this? Because you want to make sure that you're actually reaching them, that what you're providing is what they need and what they want. And that comes back to being solidified in your branding. So if you feel 100% confident in your branding and you feel 100% confident in this is me, this is why I do what I do, this is what I'm sharing, that will connect and you'll be able to see that more with your audience. So your engagement will be higher, your content will be more positive, and you'll be able to have the engagement that you need, and then you'll be able to build the further connections. So another great thing about your content and being able to solidify your brand when we talk about that is hashtags. And I don't know how often you guys have talked about hashtags. I know when I originally talked to April about this, she was like, oh, we did an Instagram training and social media training, and it was awesome, and everybody is kind of killing it on Instagram. So I wanted to share a little bit more about you with hashtags, but I don't want to overwhelm you guys if you guys have done a lot of hashtag work as well.
I think we have a lot of newer coaches so on here tonight, and so I could probably say that most people would be fine with hearing whatever you want to give.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so when I go back to the hashtags, what you need to really focus on is that it's not so much about you. It's about what your ideal client is reaching for or what your future team member is reaching for and what they're searching. So when you're writing your content, you can have up to 30 hashtags in a post, and I recommend 30 hashtags in a post. The algorithm on Instagram is super finicky and weird, and it actually will boost you the more hashtags that you use. So if you use all 30 that they give you, they're like, hey, good job. I'm going to make your post more popular. I'm going to give it a better like. So like if you post it at the same time and somebody else posted at the same time, if you use 30 hashtags and they didn't, you're automatically higher than them in the Instagram algorithm just because that's the way it works. And it's super important to do as many little tips and tricks to boost yourself in the algorithm. So you can also use hashtags in your stories. You can use up to 10 hashtags in your stories. And that's another great way to connect with people on your stories, is to be able to use what works for you. Now, the hashtags on your stories are a little bit different than in your content. In your stories, you should use the bigger hashtags, the ones that are more popular, are more common to be viewed, because they're the ones that actually have other stories. So if you use a smaller one and nobody else has posted a story to that specific hashtag, it actually won't come up. Very rarely does it actually, if you go on to see like a hashtag story, does it just come up one. There's normally like 2 or 3 because I want to make sure it's actually worth it. If somebody's actually going to look at the story if I use this hashtag. So you want to use the bigger, more generalized hashtags in your stories. But then in your content, you want to use the smaller, more focused hashtags. You want to kind of niche down or niche down, depending on how you say it. But having the smaller hashtags really helps solidify all of that. So like you can use like Moms Who Inspire is a great one to really connect with people, or health and fitness coach, or Beachbody Coach Life. Instead of just like Beachbody Coach, I think is like 1.8 million, you're not really showing up on that because it is such a vast one. So like if you think about it, once I think it's like over 700 on a hashtag, if you put your post out, it takes, I think it's like 15 seconds before it's like too far down that you're not scrolling anymore. So if you type in a hashtag and you start to scroll, you're not going to continue to scroll. I think it's past like the average is 5 scrolls on a hashtag. You'll probably see something that you like, click on it, either comment on it, go to a profile, visit something. You're not just going to keep scrolling on a hashtag, or most people don't. So you want to use the smaller hashtags because you'll be able to be in the top. You'll be able to be there. If I click on it, oh, I see your post. Oh, I like that. And you'll be able to be there longer because you're not constantly getting, new posts with that hashtag. So that's why you niche down, because you're able to reach your audience for longer. You're able to reach them more because you're connected to them. And that also has to do with what they're searching for. Instead of finding ones that you like or that you kind of connect with, you need to find ones that they're actually searching for. So if this is their issue and this is what you're trying to help, back to your personal branding, your message, what you are trying to give to them, if they're searching for, if you want to help them, if they are postpartum and, they want to get back to their, before baby weight, maybe looking for postpartum moms and, after pregnancy and things like that, searching those hashtags because that's where your audience is. And that's, they're not going to be in the fashion model. I don't know. I'm not really great with all of that. But like you have to figure out exactly where they are and what they need and using those hashtags. And then you can go on to any hashtag and it's super simple to click on a bigger hashtag, and on your phone, it'll give you like suggested searches of lower hashtags. So you think of one that's super big and popular that you like, and then it'll give you, I think there's like 10 options of other hashtags that are similar to this. And you can click on that. And if they're lower, you can be like, oh, well, this one, if I type this, it also comes up. So maybe try this one because it's a little bit lower. It's a little bit niched down. Maybe I'll show up on that better, but you're still connecting to the same audience. You're still able to reach the same people. And hashtags are kind of like the bread and butter of Instagram. Your content's not going anywhere if you don't use the hashtags. So they're super important. And I love being able to share and help those out, especially because that's the way to meet new people. And that's what network marketing in your business is all about, is building a team and building, new relationships with everyone. And so that's so important, is being able to reach new people and make those connections. So put up to 30 in your content. And then, like I said, in your stories, you have to use the bigger ones just so that you show up more. Also, when we talk about your stories, we talk about how you're going to rank higher in the Instagram algorithm, not just with hashtags, but also with using the things that Instagram provides you, using the features. So if you use a filter on Instagram, it actually boosts you in the algorithm. If you use any of the like little gifts, if you use like the Wednesday gift, like whatever the day of the week is, it's Thursday. Wow. But if you use whatever, like anything, you can have like Boss Babe is one, or like a workout one, or the music, or the question, or any of the features that they give you, you're actually ranking higher in the Instagram algorithm. Whether anybody engages with it or not, they are rewarding you for using what they give you. And if you type, you can have 2 different typed sections, 2 different text boxes, that's also rewarding you as well, because they're like, hey, she's really using what we offer. That's awesome. Thank you. And so it's all of these little silly things that shouldn't seem like they're actually that important, but they are, because they're helping you to reach higher and rank higher. So if there's, I think it's 20 in like one round of stories on a hashtag, if you use it and somebody else uses it and there's only one more spot before you go to round 2 where you have to like rewatch the whole thing, you'll be ranked higher than the person before you, because you've used these extra things where Instagram's like, oh, we really like you because you're benefiting with our algorithm. So I really like that. I created 5 separate categories of 30 hashtags. Yeah, that's awesome. I totally love that and agree with that. Being able to use the different ones, because that's the other thing. You shouldn't be using the same ones because you can get shadow banned. So you need to switch it up and kind of change it a little bit, but you can use similar ones and the same type of ones if you're able to create that. And like I said, it doesn't take long. You can take like 5 minutes and look at the searchables and suggested, and they're like, hey, this is really awesome. This goes with this goes with this is what, your ideal client could be searching for, or is very similar to what they're searching for. And, they'll see that. You'll be able to show up more on those hashtags. So I totally love that. But also back to the stories, when you think about ranking higher and ranking in the Instagram platform and in the algorithm, you want to be able to rank as high as possible, because that's going to help you to reach more people. And using, fun hashtags, there are lots of different ways. Like one of my favorite hashtags uses hashtag Target Dollar Spot, even though it doesn't have anything to do with my business. If I have something that's in my story that's from Target, I'm a total big Target person, but if I have something in my story that's from Target, it's another way to reach somebody. So finding, tagging Starbucks or tagging, Chipotle or whatever it is, being able to be like, oh, another way you can reach, more people, because it doesn't necessarily have to be specific to just your business. It can also be to you and your life. You never know where you're going to meet somebody who could be interested, who could want to be a part of your team. You should always be like on the lookout for a new relationship, new connection, that kind of thing. And there's so many different ways to be able to find those. And especially on Instagram, because, you have limitless possibilities where you can meet people, and hashtags are the best place to do that. So I think that that's really important to be able to know that you can use up to 10 in your stories, and, being able to show up on those. So hope that helped. But I'm going to look through the chat real quick just to see, because I see that there's a lot coming up. I love being able to organize the hashtags on there and have the post ready to go early. Planily. Awesome. Okay, so I was going to talk about that. All right, so scheduling your posts out is another great way, because if you do it, I call it batching content. If you do it all at once, take like an hour or 2 hours and batch the week or batch 2 weeks, you're in this zone of like positivity and positive mindset and empowerment, and you're going to be able to show up more in your posts. So like take a time where you're in a really good vibe. You just had an amazing day. You just had a team call, whatever it is, you just feel really high energy, and batch your content for the week, whatever you want to talk about. Or come up with topic ideas. Maybe you don't want to write it all out right now, but be like, I could talk about this, I could talk about this, and kind of like brain dump or list it out. You're going to have an idea, and it's not going to stress you out as much, because your content, it shouldn't be forced. It shouldn't be, hard to come up with. It should be flowy and energetic. And this is what I want to share with you guys, because I love you and I want to help you. I want to relate to you. I want to entertain you, and I want to educate you. It should be all of that. And when we come, we're like, oh, I want to post now, but I just don't know what to say, and I'm just not feeling it, and it's not a great day. Now you're kind of stuck. And if you come up with some content, it's not going to be your best work. So if you take that out of the equation and you give yourself the time, and you give yourself, I'm in a great mood right now, I'm going to come up with 3 posts, or I'm going to come up with 4 or 5 posts, or, I feel like I can come up with at least topics to talk about, because I know that this is what I want to talk about. you're going to feel more confident and you're going to actually show up better for your audience. You're going to have that better connection with them because you're in a great space to be able to create that. So Planoly is a great one. Later is another great one. And all of these are ways you can do this for free, which is super fun. Google is a fun way to do it as well. You just can't have your pictures in there, whereas Planoly and Later let you really plan your Instagram grid with it as well. Which again, if you plan your grid, you're able to, use the same filter or put your branding colors in there or whatever it may be. It kind of looks better. It all kind of flows. So planning your posts out ahead of time allows you to be like, oh, this picture looks better here. Maybe if you post a lot of workout photos, you don't want them right next to each other. Maybe you want it to break up a little bit, whatever it may be, you're able to see it ahead of time and be like, oh, I really like that. Or maybe you need more pictures of yourself and you want to be like, okay, I don't really have any pictures that I look good and maybe I should take some. I feel like that happens all of the time for me, even though I don't realize why. But it's just about being able to see what you need and what your content really needs. So if you plan your post out, you're able to have that. Does IG care if the things on there are not visible? Like if you add the location and shrink it way down? No, not at all. You can absolutely do that. You can hide it. You can hide your hashtags behind things. It doesn't know that it's not there. It doesn't know that it's not visible. And that's super important because that way your followers don't go on your stories and they're like, oh, 10 hashtags in my face and a location and you tag 3 people. Like I'm bombarded with so much information. I'm not actually reading what you wrote. So no, you can totally hide it. You can shrink it down. All of that's totally awesome and a great way to be able to still get everything in there and benefit your audience and yourself in the algorithm without bombarding them. So I love that you asked that question. That's because coffee is life. That's awesome. Yeah, tagging a coffee shop is perfect. If you think about it, it's just your everyday. What are you doing? Are you watching a TV show and being able to connect with them that way? Did you hear a song on the radio that you're like, this is what I was listening to today? Do you guys like the song? What kind of music do you like? Being able to show up and just be yourself is the best way to feel your brand and be able to show up as your brand, because that's the whole point. You guys are in this business because of what you wanted. You wanted this for yourself and you have to be able to share that. You have to share that energy. This is me. This is who I am and this is what I do. Instagram is not supposed to be perfect. And I feel like a lot of the time we see, these followers and these mentors and they're like amazing and their feed's beautiful and they're all over the place and everything's perfect, and that's not real life. You have to be able to show up as you, real life, be genuine, and you're actually going to connect with people who want to connect with you. And that's the whole point of all of this. The whole point is to be social, and it's social media, right? Be social, be yourself. You wouldn't go to the grocery store and be like, oh, I'm this amazing, Queen of England. No, you're going to be you. And you need to be you on social media too. You need to be able to show up as yourself and be genuine. Those are the relationships that you want. From the connections that you want. Those are the people that want to meet you, that you want to meet. So that is what your brand should stem from. It should come from you and your heart and your soul and what you really desire. And like I said, in your comments, in your stories, in your content, in your bio, all of that's important. And then the most important way to show up as your brand and be able to push forth all of that is in the DMs. So instead of just reaching out to somebody through private message, and being like, hi, this is what I have to offer, this is all of that, reach out to them and be like, oh, I loved that story that you posted. It was amazing. Or, oh, that post that you said about this, I really connected to that. Now make it be genuine. Don't be like, oh, your feed's beautiful. Thanks. Bye. Make it be genuine and actually connect with them. So when you are going onto other people's profiles and you're engaging with them, it's so important. It not only boosts the Instagram algorithm and being like, oh, she's engaging, we should show her stuff to more people, but you're also reaching out to other people. You're also building connections, putting feelers out there. And a DM is a great way to do that. And you can type a message, you can voice a message, or send a video message in the DM, whatever level you're comfortable with, but you're building that extra connection. You're sending kind of a little bit more than just a like or a comment. It's like you took it one step further and you sent me something. You reached out to me and commented on something that I mattered. I took my time to make a post and now you really cared about it. It really connected with you. So that's super important, is to DM. A great way to boost your engagement is to send DMs, even if you're not liking and commenting on anybody's post, because you're getting these extra connections. So if you message somebody that you've never talked to before or is a new follower, odds are the first thing they do is they're going to click your profile. And before they even read your message, they're going to be like, who is this chick? Click her profile. And then they're going to get your full branded and who you are and what you do and why she needs you, right? So it's kind of like a little bit like, oh, look what I just did. But you're helping them. Instead of just commenting, they might not actually go to your profile, or liking, they might never see it. That DM is a huge extra step and overachieving almost, but you're able to reach them even more. Especially if you reply to stories. Story replies are super important because you took the time to watch their stories. We spend time creating our content and we spend time doing all of this, but our stories are most likely the rawest and realest part of us. That's our day to day. A lot of us don't plan our stories. A lot of us don't know exactly what we're going to talk about. We just feel called to show up and share what coffee shop we went to, or share what we look like after our workout. I honestly love watching April's workouts because I'm like, I could never do that. But I still watch them because this is, it interests me. And it's great because you're able to get that other connection. So watch somebody's story and send her a reply. Even if it's just the quick reply where it's like the clapping or the celebration or the heart eye bubble emoji, whatever it is, having that extra connection is that one extra step, kind of like a handshake, like, hi, nice to meet you. Here I am, let's connect. And so it's a great way to really come and stand out as yourself and be, strong in your branding. So I'm going to go back through and read these because you guys are awesome with the chats. Do polls for engagement daily, like Rachel is getting ready for a silver cruise with shoe gold or silver things. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. Things that have nothing to do with fitness but have to do with yourself are still really important, because you're not just fitness. You're not just health. You're not just your business. You're still a person, and you are your business. You are the sole heart and heartbeat of your business. So if you aren't showing up and you aren't here, look at me, that's the whole point. My pregnancy baby related polls kill on engagement. Yeah, absolutely. They're amazing. And it's great because it's something that everybody can relate to, or at least your ideal clients are normally relating to, because they're like, oh yeah, I've been there. Oh, I want to be there. Whatever it is, these are great ways to build these extra connections. I do a once a week, I try and do a little get to know me thing. And some people know me and they've been following me forever, and they still learn one new thing about me that they've never learned before. And so it can be simple. Like I, love chamomile tea, or, whatever it is, but it's just a fun little way. And it doesn't have to be long. It just has to be something personal and about you. I'm fired up right now. Oh my gosh. I love this. You guys are amazing. Seriously. I'm so, so thankful that you guys are on this. Thank you so much. You're awesome. But yeah, being able to show up and just being real and being like, this is me, full glory, you're actually going to come off, again, more realistic, and you're not going to be so idolized. People are going to be more interested in working with you, enjoying your team, and connecting with you further because you're real. If you show up like, this is me and I'm perfect and I have this amazing life and everything's awesome, they're going to be like, that's not me. So I'll follow her and I'll creepily stalk her on Instagram, but that's not me. And I don't really want to connect with her. Whereas if you're real and you're like, this is me, this is what I do, love it or like it, whatever it is, it's just me. And you're going to have that. People are like, oh my gosh, I want to connect with her because I can actually see myself talking to her. I can actually be real with her and be myself because she's being herself. And that should be what helps you stand out in your brand. There's so much negativity around network marketing. And it doesn't have to be that way at all. It just has to be love and honesty and just being real and showing up as yourself. That's the whole point of all of this. Is your toilet paper roll over? That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Something silly and fun like that is just absolutely perfect. But that's all it has to be. It doesn't have to be this super important, stressful thing. And your Instagram strategy is just supposed to be that. It's supposed to be a strategy for you to show up, not to build your business and, grow and all of this stuff. Like, that's important, but it's supposed to be for you. It's supposed to be for you to show up and be able to be there. And that's the main part of all of this. And I hope that I was able to kind of not just talk at you guys. I hope you guys got a lot out of this and really enjoyed this. But I wanted to be able to show up and just kind of give you guys some tips and all about how to really brand yourself. So.
That was great. And I feel like I do it. I'll have a social media call and then I won't talk about it. So it's just so important for me to have other people come on here because it's really easy for me to be like, oh, we talked about that. But there's always new coaches and there's always other people that need to hear it. So I loved having you. That was awesome. Does anybody have any questions for Sierra? I think you answered everything I saw in the chat. Let me see. Okay. If you guys think of anything, you can just let me know and I can ask her. What is your Instagram name?
Oh, I can put it in the comments.
Yeah, put it in the chat.
But also, if you have any questions, the questionnaire, there's also a spot if there's anything that I didn't cover that you wanted to ask as well. That's also in there. And the questionnaire, there's a part where like, you don't have to fill it out. I love the feedback. I love being able to know, like, did this help? Did this not help? Is there anything that you guys needed more of? It's just a way to help me a little bit. But don't feel obligated, like you must do this because I sat here. Like, that's not at all what that is.
Yeah, I will post the link in the chat or the link to the questionnaire in our team page. But I think the most important thing is like, think about whose stories you enjoy watching and what are they doing that's bringing you back. So like one coach I always watch is Ashley Fidelson, and she's a top 10 coach. I love watching her because she does such a great job at talking about everything else besides coaching. But when she is talking about coaching, she is fired up. She is passionate. You can tell she loves what she does. And that's what you need to do. You can't just be like, here it is. I was told I needed to do 10 stories. So here they are. Like, she will talk about her dog. She will talk about her new house. She will talk about her meal prep. She will talk about her team killing it. She will talk about what coaching has done for her. She will talk about fashion and her favorite makeup. It is so much a little bit of everything. So if you guys have not done the color wheel, I want you guys to make sure that you do that so that you can take a look at that. And when you are planning your post, if you use the Planoly or the Plan apps, that you're thinking about all those other things. Because ideally, you want to be connecting to your perfect person. And it can be, thinking about things that not necessarily where you are now, but you were at one time. So it's so easy to forget to talk about your story. Like, I have a history with eating disorders and, sometimes I'll talk about it, sharing my story, but I don't feel like I do it enough because there are plenty of other people that have either gone through it or are going through it that need to hear that message or need to be reminded that, oh my gosh, if she went through that and I look at her and I think, oh my gosh, I could never be that way, that, that's the message that you need to send. So I think it's so important to also not spend a million years watching stories because you can get sucked into that rabbit hole. It's something I usually will let myself do like maybe 5 to 10 minutes throughout the day, but I'm not spending a ton of time. Like, and a lot of it is like clicking through for inspiration and things like that. But also I love using Ashley as an example because she has pretty highlights too. That's on my to-do list. So maybe just say like, okay, next week, my goal is to do 2 highlights, and whether it's my coaching, like the coaching opportunity and about me or mom life or whatever, pick 2 highlights to do per week. And let's focus on that. My highlights are so bad. Yes. Okay, Liz, I wasn't going to say that, but that's what I do too. It's literally, I watch stories while I'm going to the bathroom. That's awesome. Yeah, your mess is your message. So glad we're all on the same page. Matt will come in sometimes and he's like, my foot is falling asleep and I'm in there. He's like, did you die? What is happening? And I'm like, sorry, I was watching stories. I got distracted. So, okay. Anything else? I got a picture I tagged, I think everyone in it. Sierra, I don't have your Instagram name. Let me grab a picture and then I'll post it in the team page. So everyone smile. Oh, wait, hold on. Sierra commented, and now it's in front of Casey's face. Way to go, Sierra. I'm just kidding. Go away, Sierra. What is happening? Badass Elite Fitness. I love it. Okay, now it's gone. All right. 1, 2, 3. Yay. Okay, and I'll send that to you all. So thank you guys so much for coming.